The footage is out. The US attorney posted it publicly. Surveillance video from inside the Washington Hilton showing exactly what happened that night. Someone walked into one of the most secure events in America and opened fire. We are talking about Cole Thomas Allen, 31 years old, Torrance, California, currently sitting in federal custody, charged with attempting to assassinate the President of the United States. And here's what nobody's really asking loud enough. How did he get in? He booked his hotel rooms weeks in advance. He walked the same hallways the night before. He sent a pre-written email to his family minutes before the attack, and he walked through a security checkpoint at an event with the president, the vice president, the secretary of state, and the FBI director all under one roof. This isn't a conspiracy. This isn't speculation. Every single thing I'm about to show you comes straight from the FBI affidavit and official DOJ sources. I am Frank John and you are watching Joshu Reactions, where we break down the truth, no spin, no agenda, purely facts. Let's get into it. Let's start the night before the attack, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. April 24th, the surveillance footage shows Cole Anell walking through a hallway inside the Washington Hilton. That same hallway, same carpet, same layout that appears in the shooting footage the very next night. He walks into the hotel gym, talks briefly to an attendant inside, then leaves. That's the recon. Now let me give you the full timeline, because the planning on this is something else. He didn't just show up on a whim. He booked his hotel room on April 6th, 3 weeks before the dinner, 3 nights book. He already knew where he was going and when. He left California and took Amtrak's Southwest Chief from Los Angeles to Chicago, then transferred to a second train to DC. He arrived in Washington on April 24th at around 1 p.m. Checked in, walked the hallways, clocked the checkpoints. This guy was methodic. He wasn't panic. He wasn't rushing. He was walking through a hotel that was about to host the President of the United States, and nobody flagged him. Now, the nearly 6-minute video released by US Attorney Jeanine Pirro on April 30th show all of this clearly. Allen on April 24th scouting the layout, and then everything that unfolds on the 25th. And here's a real question. He's a hotel guest. He's legally allowed to be there, but he booked 3 weeks in advance for the exact nights of the correspondence dinner. That's a pattern. That's advanced planning. The question the FBI and Secret Service have to answer is, at what point does that pattern become visible, and was anyone looking? We'll talk about what the security setup actually looked like. But first, let's talk about what he sent right before he made his move. About 10 minutes before Cole Anell rushed that checkpoint, he sent an email, a scheduled email, pre-written, sent to members of his family and a former employer. The FBI obtained a copy from one of the recipients. In that email, he apologized. He explained what he was about to do. He said he didn't expect forgiveness, and he signed it. And I am reading this directly from the FBI affidavit. Cole friendly federal assassin Allen. That was his word from himself. The FBI affidavit described that email as a manifesto. It expressed anti-Trump political grievances. It referenced conditions in detention campus. It referred to Trump administration officials as target. It did not name the Trump specifically by name. And here's the other thing that was entered into court: fillings. Minutes before the attack, still in his room, Allen took a selfie. He was wearing an ammunition bag, a shoulder gun holster, a she-hated knife. That photo went into the court record. That was an spontaneous act. According to the DOJ, this was a planned assassination attempt. That's the official charge, and it carries up to life in prison. Now, I want to be clear about something. I'm not editorializing here. I'm not assigning a political label to this. What I'm saying is, a man planned an attack for weeks, scouted the location the night before, wrote a goodbye email to his family, dressed himself in tactical gear in a hotel room, and then moved on checkpoint. The question of how That's next. April 25th, the dinner is in full swing. The ballroom is packed. Inside, President Trump, Vice President Vance, Secretary of State Rubio, Defense Secretary Hegseth, FBI Director Kash Patel, roughly 2,600 journalists and guests. This is the highest concentration of senior US officials at a single public event, all under one roof, one hotel. Now, here's the detail that matters. By the time Col Anel made his move, the security checkpoint outside the ballroom was in the process of being taken down. Because once the president was seated, they stopped letting new guests in. So the perimeter was winding down. That's the window he chose. At approximately 8:40 p.m., according to the FBI affidavit, Allen ran through the magnetometer. He was holding a 12-gauge shotgun, a weapon he had legally purchased in California back in August 2025. Secret Services officers heard a gunshot. One officer, identified in the affidavit as Officer VG, was shot once in the chest. He was wearing a ballistic vest. He was expected to make a full recovery. That officer drew his weapon and fired back. Allen went down. He wasn't struck by gunfire. He sustained a knee injury. He was arrested on the spot. When they searched him, the shotgun .38 caliber handgun, multiple knives, acting AG Todd Blanche confirmed law enforcement fired 5 shots total. At the time of the initial press conference, there was still a question about which round hit Officer VG, whether it came from Allen or from a friendly fire situation during the response. On April 30th, when US Attorney Pirro released the full footage, her officer stated there is no evidence the officer was struck by friendly fire, and that footage, just under 6 minutes, is now public. You can see it. Here's what I keep coming back to. He was a hotel guest. He scouted the checkpoint. He had a long gun. He was wearing a holster, and the checkpoint was winding down when he made his move. These are all documented facts. And the question which security experts and Congress are now asking is, at what point should any of those factors have triggered a hard look? Let me give you the picture the FBI has put together on whose this guy actually is. Col Thomas Allen, 31, Torrance, California, bachelor's degrees in mechanical engineering from Caltech, one of the most prestigious technical schools in the country. Master's in computer science from Cal State Dominguez Hills, completed in 2025. He worked part-time as a tutor at a company called C2 Education. He was named their Teacher of the Month in December 2024. His professor described him as a dedicated and hardworking. His neighbors said he was quiet. Nothing in his public record flagged this. His sister told law enforcement he regularly visited a shooting range. He kept his legally purchased firearms stored at their parents' home without his parents knowing. No violent history on record. A graduate student, a tutor, a neighbor who kept to himself. That's the part that a lot of people find hardest to process. There wasn't a file on this guy. There wasn't a flag. He planned this for weeks and nothing surfaced before it happened. Here is the honest takeaway on the security side of this. The Secret Services has called their response a success, and by one measure, they are right. The attacker was stopped before he reaches anyone in that ballroom. Nobody at the dinner was harmed. The officer who was shotted survived. But security experts are asking real questions, and those questions deserve real answers. Before the dinner, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe noted that security was, his words, almost at the level of national security event, given how many senior officials were under one roof. And yet, a man booked a room at the same hotel 3 weeks in advance. He walked the checkpoint the night before. He moved on the perimeter while it was being taken down. These aren't partisan talking points. This is the normal accountability process that follows an incident like this, and it's already happening. The FBI investigation is ongoing. Congress will push for answers. That's how it's supposed to work. The system caught him before he got further, but the system also let him get closer than he should have. Both things are true, so here's where things stand. Col Anel is in federal custody, charged with 3 counts, including attempt assassination of the President of the United States. He's waived his right to challenge his detention for now. The investigation is continuing. This is a serious moment, not just for US, security but for the country. A planned attack reached the checkpoint of an event with the president inside. A federal officer was shot, and we're all waiting to see what the full picture looked like when he's going to trial. I'll keep tracking it and breaking it down as it develops. If this breakdown was useful, hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I generally read them. Talk soon. See you again. Stay sharp, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.